Okay, good morning. Welcome to Johnny the Greek's Free Real Estate, episode 5. I'm here with at ZMags IDP, also known as Zach Magley. He's a writer for the IDP guys. He's a good friend. He's a hell of an IDP player. He's a huge Bears fan. We welcome Zach to the show this week. Zach, how are you?
I'm doing pretty dang good, Johnny. How about you?
Good, man. Good. Things are good. Let me just get this out before I forget. So, this show is a free fire zone. We'll very likely say something that's terrible at some point during the next 90 minutes or so. So, please keep that in mind. If there are any kids in the room, please consider headphones for them or yourself. This is not safe for work. With that out of the way, let's get into it. This is free real estate. Dude, I'm good. How are you? We were just talking before this thing started. So, you had your daughter's play this weekend. How was that?
Dude, it was awesome. As you said, we were talking a little bit before we started recording here, and um, like I was telling you, I've been this was my oldest. She's in fifth grade now. She's going to be 12 in August, and I've been a dad since I was 19 years old because I'm 31 now. And when I've watching her grow her personality and starting to become a young woman, and the things she loves, the things she hates, and the things, the hobbies and all these things, and watching her what she aspires to be. It's a great feeling, just to watch your kid grow. And then when she was on doing her play this weekend, they did Beauty and the Beast, and since she was the older kids got the big parts, but she's good at what she does. And she loves singing, and she wants to be. I'm pretty sure she wants to be like an actress or an influencer for YouTube or something. This is my kid right now, and she just loves it. And um, she got some. She played pretty much those girls that follow Gaston around in Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
She
Yeah.
was one of those girls, so she had some speaking parts, and she got to sing. And she had so much fun, and watching her do it, it was just amazing. And they had a Friday and Saturday night show. So I went to both nights with my youngest daughter, Aurora, and Kyla's my oldest. But Aurora's my youngest. And the first night, Aurora had to wear her bell dress, so she was just so excited and so happy to see her sister on stage because Aurora's 5, so she just looks up to Kyla so much. Um,
Oh man,
so
that's
yeah.
awesome, man. That's the good stuff, right? That's
Mhm.
the good things in life right there. So okay, so 5 and how old for the oldest?
5 and 11. But well, I mean, yeah, Aurora is actually 4, but she's going to be 5 May 25th. So I'm just saying 5 now.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
she's
May as well
basically
get used
5.
to it. That's
Yeah.
awesome, man. Yeah, my nieces too, and those are good ages when they're young like that. How has it been challenging as the oldest has gotten towards the teenage years, or how's that going?
Yeah, I mean, she's always, well, here's the thing, man. They've both got me wrapped around their finger, and I try to deny it, but like basically i- if I cuz I make decent money now, but not like great, cuz when I lost my job, so I'm trying to bounce back from where I was at. But yeah, it's right now my oldest is at that stage when she's really starting to get into material things.
Mm.
And I don't want to, well, I don't want her to think that's what life is all about,
Yeah.
so there's sometimes, when you gotta say no to things they want. But like um some things changed with I mean, we've kind of talked about it a little bit. Some things changed, so she stays with me majority of the time now. And I had she spends a lot of time, not a lot of time, but like some time alone. So I had to get her a cell phone to where she's
Ooh.
alone.
Yep.
So I've that's been a fun experiment trying to, but cool. It's a good thing because I have an iPhone and she has an iPhone, and they have this thing where you could basically control their screen time. So
Ooh, that's nice. That's
yeah,
nice because
yeah,
that's a big thing that's changed. Like
yeah.
when we were kids, I don't know about you, but in high school, very rarely did any of us have cell phones back then. Like it was,
I
you
think
know, it,
all the iPhone was brand new when I was in
right.
high school. Like they just started coming out with them, and it was that, and when they finally got the touchscreen iPods.
Yep.
Those were the huge hit. But
Right now, every like younger kid has an iPhone or a smartphone. It's kind of crazy. I mean,
hmm
it's good for you as a dad. You got good connection, but then you're right, the screen time stuff. Like, ew,
yeah,
that's a fight too.
Yeah, dude. And that's the thing is like when that first started, it was like I said, it was an experiment, trying to figure out how to handle it, and she just kept pushing the envelope. I'd give her an inch, and she would try to take a mile. So I was like, you know what? You get 3 hours a day, and I thought that was generous. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Yeah, no, we've got a ton of questions about parenting and stuff, so we'll get into this. Let's get caught up though. What do you been doing this off season? Any projects or anything, or what do you? I don't know.
Well,
I feel like I haven't talked to you since the season. So what's new?
yeah, dude. Well, my laptop took a crap. So on top of, trying to raise two girls as a single dad and pay bills, my laptop takes a crap. So I've been having to borrow. Here's my cat trying to join the show.
I know mine's
Uh,
doing the same. It's ridiculous. They know we're busy, so they're all
yeah,
up in our shit.
figures they're both orange too. Look at
Yeah.
that. um, but yeah, I was having a brain fart. Okay, so my laptop took a crap. So I've been having to pretty much borrow a laptop to try to do anything content wise. And I was about to start my IDP breakout series,
Right.
but I was sitting there like, why? I need to wait for the draft before I start writing these because things I could this could just totally crash and burn. Um, so I wanted to wait for the draft to get done, and I'm going to start hopping into the content writing, but I basically have to borrow a laptop right now to get my writing done. So it's kind of spotty, which you found out when we were trying to schedule for this.
Yeah, that's all right, man. I'm sure it'll get worked out before the season. And it's the off season, so give
Yeah.
yourself a break. And that's a great series. I've seen you doing. I remember that from last year, and I've seen you doing some polls to see who you should talk about this year. So
Yeah.
yeah, who are you doing first? Who's the winner so far?
Well, because I've decided to kind of do it a little bit differently this year. I usually just do like I'll do player just like one or two players per article, and I've decided I'm just gonna do like a linebacker article, a defensive back article, an edge article, and an interior defensive line article. Um,
Nice.
and separate it up a little bit to make it. I think it's better for the readers that way, to be honest, and then that way I can kind of summarize the player's situation instead of trying to come up with 750 words why you should try to get this guy on your team. So
Yeah, no, I like that, man. And you were right. Who were a couple you had last year? Like Jordan Brooks was one, I
yeah,
think.
Jordan Brooks was that. I feel like that one was. I mean, that was. I mean, for guys like us, that might have been an obvious one.
But still, that no,
Yeah,
dude.
that
I
was a
mean,
huge
we're
hit, though,
yeah,
dude.
we're so far into the weeds, like, but your content is it's for everyone, right? Like, there are guys
Right?
that didn't know that, and they got an LB1 out of that last
Yeah, they
year.
did. I mean, I had yeah, Jordan Brooks, Bobby Okereke.
Yeah,
I think Okereke almost had a better season than Leonard.
yeah, yeah.
So
He did. It was
yeah,
insane,
and
and
I
you're
had
talking
Logan Wilson. So
right, right, yeah. So man, if you do it again
those are
this
just the
year,
linebackers. Wink, wink.
right?
But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, 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 that's good stuff, man. That was a really good series. So that'll be good again this year. What'd you think of the Super Bowl? I don't think we got to talk too much
Yeah,
about that. What were your thoughts on that?
I loved it, man. I've that's the thing too is as a Bears fan, I had to watch Matt Stafford for so long, and um, not he was just one of he's Matt Stafford is just like a Matthew Stafford. I don't think he likes the Matt Stafford thing. He's such a likable guy,
Yeah.
and he just and the backstory, the stuff with his wife, and just to see him get to that success story of him getting a championship. And this is what I really think he's going to go off this year. To be honest with you,
Yep.
he's got that off his shoulders. I think we're going to see I think last year he had that problem with that throwing interceptions. I mean I think that's always going to be a Stafford thing. He does that. That's just how he is. He's a gunslinger. But I think we're going to see a very like a more relaxed version of him, and I think it's going to be nasty to watch. It's going to be cool.
Dude,
I'm
I think
excited for him and Allen Robinson, to be
oh
honest.
oh no doubt. Yeah, because I mean, sure they lost Bobby Trees, but Allen Robinson steps right in there. Like they
Mhm.
haven't really lost all that much. I wouldn't
Well,
be surprised if
I
they're back there again.
like I'm a big fan of the fantasy footballers, but sometimes they hate on Allen Robinson, dude. And I watched him for 3, 4 years for Chicago here, and he's no slouch. He definitely like got written out of the game plan last year, and I'm not sure if that was just the whole contract situation and or Nagy just um, being a dick, but um, yeah, dude. I think Allen Robinson is going to be like an easy WR2 or three to have for anybody this year. He's going to eat up some. I mean, I think he's Cooper Cup might lose some of that touchdown value because of how big of a monster Robinson can be in the red zone.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And we're definitely gonna touch on this when we get to like the stupid early predictions and stuff. But
Right.
I
Sorry.
like basically no. But basically everyone I've talked to is like, Rams have a really good shot to get back. I can't argue with that. You know what I mean? I think you got a point too. Stafford's
This
more
is not even
relaxed.
fair, dude. Bobby
I
Wagner.
I know, right?
How can you just like oh, I just wonder how the Rams constantly do it. And then, did you see that video of Sean McVay trolling Belichick
Yep,
over the draft about,
I
man, we were
did.
looking at him in the third round. Like, I guess that just stuff cracks me up. I think McVay's a really good mind. I wouldn't be surprised if he could be like Genius Junior. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, he's super smart dude. Yeah, man. So take us back to the beginning. So I mean, you're a Bears fan, but how did you start
Mhm.
watching football? Was it a family thing, or take us to the start?
Well, I was always, raised a Bears fan. My dad is a Bear fan. So like So growing up, it was just that was one of the ways I connected with my dad. My sister always tried to kind of join in with us, and when my parents got divorced when I was in fifth grade, and the guy that my mom ended up marrying was also a Bears fan, so that's how I tried to connect with him too. As a child, we do weird things. so,
Yeah.
um, but that's the thing. I was never like hardcore into it until I probably turned like 16, 17. It was probably shortly after the Bears got to the Super Bowl with somehow with Rex Grossman and
Right, right. And
and he
that
played
was
the Colts. So
yeah, and they scored right away.
yeah,
Wasn't
Devin
that like a
Hester's return.
Hester, yep,
Hmm.
return?
Yep,
And I was like, shit, the Bears are gonna win the Super Bowl. And
that's what
then
I
it,
thought too.
it
And
did
then
did
Rex
not.
Grossman
Yeah.
won it for the Colts. I can't remember how many interceptions, like two or three interceptions. Peyton Manning barely had to lead the Colts that game.
I
so
know, I know, man. But that was a great season. Was that the they are who we thought they were season?
mhm, yep,
It was, right.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. Yes, it was. Yep. you know, they were the monsters of the Midway then too. So
That's awesome, man. So yeah, I mean that's good stuff. So family thing, growing up being a Bears fan.
yep.
I'm not sure you don't live near Chicago, do you?
Oh yeah, dude. I'm probably 2 hours, a little bit less, give or
Okay,
take traffic.
so
So
you've been to some games out there?
I've actually only been to one Bears game or two Bears games, but I mean the Bears tickets aren't cheap, dude. I go to
Oh, I
Cubs
bet.
games and Sox games. Those are
Yeah.
cheap. For the most part, especially if you sit in the bleachers at Wrigley. I mean, that's just like a basic. You're just partying if you're sitting in the bleachers at Wrigley. Um, and then the White Sox. I mean, they can barely fill up the stadium. So
Dude, I know exactly what you're talking about, man. It's ridiculous. So
Mhm.
I'm like equidistant between Patriots, Jets, Giants, and you're talking 150 for upper deck nosebleed, like minimum, plus
Yeah,
parking, plus everything else. Like it's insane. Like
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah. I
pricey.
took my dad to a preseason game. It was actually Peyton Manning's first year on the Broncos, and I took him because the Bears played the Broncos in the first one of the preseason games. And I thought, hey, Dad, let's go do this and see Peyton Manning in a Broncos jersey. So we went and did that. That was a pretty good time. Um, and then um, I've been actually because I Indiana boy. So not that I'm a huge fan of them, but I don't mind watching the Colts do good either.
Yeah.
So I've been I went to a Colts game this past year actually. 'Cause I had an inkling that Brady might retire this year, and they were coming to Indianapolis.
Oh,
So
you
I
saw
me
that game? That's right.
yeah, the Colts and Buccaneers game. That was a freaking epic game.
Oh,
Leonard Fournette went off, bro. He went
yeah,
off, dude. That was a great game. It was hype the entire time, and then just like the players I got to see.
yeah.
Um, John Jonathan Taylor,
Yeah.
Devin White, Darius Leonard, DeForest Buckner. Oh my God, Antoine Winfield Jr., Kari Willis. I could go on and on. Bobby Okereke, sorry, but
Yeah, dude, no, you picked a good one.
Levante David too. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
you definitely picked a good one. Like that was a hell of a game. Yeah, I remember
Hmm.
you. You said something in one of the group chats about that. Like, man, yeah, that was a good one to go to.
Yeah, I got to, that was basically I got to, all my dad, my nephew, who's my nephew's a little kick-ass Pop Warner player. He's a tight end and a defensive end, and he plays quarterback every now and then, running back every now and then. But I think he's gonna end up being like a star in our town's football team because he's already a pretty good player. Um, but then it was my daughter's first game I took her to too,
Ooh.
so she that was, I think after that game she was like, okay, I like football a little bit more.
Well, dude, it's different there in person, right? Like it's
Yeah.
just like anything else, but like, 3rd and 10, 70,000 people screaming at the top of their lungs, like there's nothing like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Mm-mm. And especially the way Indianapolis does it, because they have that whole get loud thing, so
Yeah.
it just like they have the bar, like you could, I mean, a lot of sports places do this and stuff like that in those situations, but when you have the stadium try to get the fans to be louder in those situations, it's always a really good time too. So
That's awesome, man. That's good stuff. So all right. So speaking of swinging back to the Bears here, real quick. So what's your outlook for this year? I mean, realistically, what do you think we're looking at this year? And do you think Fields takes a step forward or a big step forward this year?
yes, I do. I think a lot of people were kind of iffy on our hires, but I like Coach Flus. I think he is. We saw what he did with the Indianapolis defense, and the players he's brought there and what they bought into, and it really seems like the Chicago players are buying into it. This seems I mean, obviously, the draft just happened. Every player is going to be hyped to be drafted, but it seems like they picked the right guys to get into their team. Um, but my outlook for them this year, I do think Justin Fields takes the step. I like Luke Getzey. I think he's going to get an offense um, that's designed for Justin, and to help him succeed, which Matt Nagy couldn't do for two quarterbacks.
Yeah,
Um, or not even just two quarterbacks. I mean, you got to count in Foles,
multiple.
and
Yeah,
yeah, you just got to
right.
count them all in. He was just a failure.
Ugh.
Um, God, I hate Matt Nagy with a passion. Hate him. Ugh. But
Uh,
yeah, I think I went on almost a daily a tweet for like 2 weeks of they need to fire Matt Nagy. Like I
oh
just kept
yeah, I
tweeting it
remember
for,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
I just yeah, but yeah, dude. This season's going to be. I think the Bears are going to be. I wouldn't be. Bears are probably going to finish last or third. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if Detroit beat us out this year. Honestly, I like what Detroit's doing.
yeah.
Um, I think Vikings might give Packers a run for the division championship this year.
Yeah, I think
Um,
so too. It depends on what happens with Cook, I think. Although, he's somewhat
yeah,
replaceable. We've seen, Madison
Madison.
come in
Yeah.
and do the same thing basically, but I don't know. I could see you guys, fighting. I don't think Green Bay is going to be as good. Like, obviously, no Devontae and the window's closing. Like,
Hmm.
I know Kyle's pissed about it. Like, instead of doing what the Rams did and just going out and getting what you need while the window's open, they just were like, nope, you get nothing and you like it.
I, I I I I don't know. I have a feeling that Debo's gonna go there, dude.
Ooh,
Um,
that would change things. Yeah.
I would really hate that. I would
Yeah.
really hate that.
That would
But I
suck.
just I don't know. I don't know if you watched it. Obviously, you're a big fan of OBJ and his shitting. So
Oh, yes, yes. His side activities, huge fan.
yeah,
Yes.
he's been trolling the whole Debo thing on Twitter.
Right.
And I think there's something going on to where he's going to go somewhere that it's just gonna everybody's gonna be pissed off about basically.
Yeah, that would do it, man. That would almost completely replace Devontae, I think.
Hmm.
Like that'd be, you know,
I
that
mean, you
yeah, that,
can't replace that connection,
right.
but if you can bring in a baller like Debo Samuel, that's
It's close. Yeah. No doubt, man. Yeah, no, I could see you guys being, 500, over 500 easy this year. Like, and Fields is the right quarterback for that team. I feel like, right?
I
Like,
think he is too. Yeah.
you need a guy with that ability to take off, and it's freaking Chicago. It's not a dome,
Mm-mm.
like,
Yep. Yeah. You can't just air it out. You gotta.
right.
Yeah. I think that's partly why you see such a heavy run game for Chicago teams too.
Yeah, definitely, man. So yeah, no, it'll be a good season for sure. All right, let's switch gears a little bit. So what are you doing for a living these days? Last time I talked to you, it was we were talking about this beforehand. You were like a manager in a warehouse, I think it was, or something like that.
Yeah, I was a one of the lead forklift drivers they had. But that business went under like as soon as COVID started getting bad. We just lost. I mean, because we were like a middleman for like a pallet company basically. So we were just repairing pallets, fixing pallets. It was a weird job actually, but so when that went under, that sucked because I ended up losing my house.
Oh,
But there's little light at the end of the tunnel. So I ended up getting a pretty decent job now where um, um, I guess you could just say I'm a machine operator, but I work in a foundry where we make iron castings for just truck parts and random stuff like that. And so I make about $20 an hour with incentive there, so that's not
nice.
too bad. And I'm kind of bouncing my way back up to getting hopefully be able to get my own place here again soon. But I actually have received an offer to get a job at the steel mill not far from me, which is if you can get into a steel mill, those are pretty good jobs. I mean, you work a lot of hours, but they're going to take care of you. So um, I've got received an offer to do that, and I gotta get through background stuff, and my background's not the prettiest since I had some, my history with drinking. Um,
Oh,
I've
dude,
had
mine too, man. Mine too. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
dude.
yeah,
I got to make sure I can get through the background stuff. But they send a questionnaire with it to give you a chance to explain your situation.
yep.
So I appreciate that. When you get a chance to do that, hopefully it'll help me out. And if I can get that job, I think I'll be good. I'll probably I might have to cut back on my content creation because I'll be working a crap ton, which I'm trying to wondering how I'm going to work all that out. But yeah, that's a job that's gonna let me take care of my girls, and that's all I want to do.
Dude, exactly. That's the important stuff. The fantasy football. I mean, they'll live. They'll be fine.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Take care of you first. And yeah, dude. I mean, I've run into that same situation. That everyone that's ever listened to anything I've talked about knows. I'm in recovery. I've got arrests and DUIs and all kinds of shit in my background. So it's like, I'm just honest about it when I talk to people, for a job or whatever. I'm like, yep, that was me, but that's not me now. So you're talking to a different person. And with the way the job market is right now, I think you're good to go, dude. Like we'll take anyone with a fucking pulse right now at my work. Are you kidding me?
Well, and that's what's there's still people out there that are struggling to find jobs, and it's just like, come on, places are out there.
Yeah.
We need because we got to get this economy right now. It's trash. So,
I hear you, man. I think you got a good shot, though. I think it's coming,
oh yeah.
and we'll get into this more as we get along here. But you are a good person, like straight up. Like you do things for cats and for your kids, and for the community. Like good things happen to to good people, so it's coming.
Well, like I said, my past isn't the prettiest, but it's I'm trying to get to a brighter future. Um, I want to do I want to leave the world a better place, you know,
Nice. I
when I
love
die.
that, man.
So,
I love that.
and if I can instill that in my children too, like I do nightly aspirations with my daughters when they go to bed. I'll ask my just to help them, kind of believe in themselves. I'll ask my daughter. I'll always say, "Who's beautiful?" And I'll ask her, "Who's smart?" And she'll, her answer is me. I say, "Who's beautiful? Who's smart? Who's going to grow up and be successful? Who's going to grow up and make the world a better place for people and animals? Who can save the world?" And then I'll ask her, I say, where are your bad dreams going? And she has a dream catcher right next to her bed. She says, in her dream catcher. And I said, where are your
Nice.
good dreams going? She says, in my head. So,
Nice.
yeah, we
That's
do that
awesome,
every night.
man.
Yeah.
I love that, man. You sound like a really good dad too. So,
My girls are the only reason I choose to stay in this world, Johnny, to be
I
honest with you.
I hear you, buddy. I hear you. I'm a natural pessimist myself, so
Yeah.
I hear
Yeah.
you.
And I'm not trying to be super come on the show and be a super depressing person, but that's just, that's just sometimes it's just reality
Yeah,
is, some people just, it's at this point in my life, it's not about me anymore. It's about my
right.
girls. So if it's like the last thing I'm worried about is my is me, you know. So I want to make sure my girls grow up to be happy, to have everything they need to be successful in life, and that's my goal right now.
That's awesome, man. That's good stuff. So, you know, how about for something a little lighter, do you have a favorite? This is a kind of weird question, but there's a lot of weird questions on here. You know that. I
I
sent
know how
them
you
to you.
are.
Yeah. So, do you have like a favorite short story from college or high school? Something funny or interesting or
I actually thought about yeah, I have one. So back in high school, this is definitely not too PG. This might be more like PG-13, like something
that?
you'd see in a like a high school like drama thing happening. But me and my excuse me, me and my buddies used to we used to dabble in some marijuana. Um, so we used to kind of have to leave the house because we couldn't do it where our parents were. So we used to find this place up in our local park here where softball teams would play or baseball teams would play during the year, and it'd kind of be off the path a little bit where cars driving by or cops driving by couldn't see you. So we were up there chilling in my buddy's van. There was probably like 4 or 5 of us smoking, and all of a sudden we see like a car driving by, but then a spotlight turns
Ooh.
on and starts coming up towards where we are, and we're just like, oh shit, that's a cop. So um it was, I think my brother was with me at the time. He was a couple years younger than me, but I was 18, he was probably 16, and
Ooh.
we popped open the van door, ran through the woods because my brother and me had parked off the side road, and then my buddy picked us up, and so we ran to the car, and we got away, and my buddy got caught, and we felt so bad. but
Ooh,
but yeah,
man.
but basically like all of us ditched but him because he couldn't exactly just leave his van. So
Yep.
it wasn't like like me and my brother were the only one who screwed him over. It was like literally all of us.
Oh, that poor
uh,
guy. What did
I
he get? Did he get possession or something, or what'd they whack him with?
all they did was take it all, and they didn't charge him with nothing. They just took
No
it.
shit.
Yeah, they took it and told him to go home because it was like
Wow.
we weren't like baked or nothing. It had just
Yeah.
started. Like we were just getting ready, starting to because we were idiots, dude. We had brought like a bong and we're just keeping it in his van. So we had a bong sitting in the van, and I'm pretty sure they like took the bong and took all the weed that we had like combined our
Oh,
allowances for.
oh
Just,
man.
but yep. That's my story, I guess.
I like that. Well, I mean, I don't like that that happened to you, but yeah, I think we
Right,
can all. I think we can all identify with that.
right.
Good stuff, man. So okay, so we've talked about the girls. Let's talk about the cats now. So you've obviously got the cat there right now, but tell us about the work you do with cats and that whole spiel. Lay it out for
Um,
me.
well, it all started where the house that I had lost, the my neighbors had a hole underneath their house where stray cats were coming in and out of, and basically it had a perfect shelter. And when I first got that house, I noticed that there was kittens coming out, and I was like, okay, so this is gonna start being a problem. So I ended up getting into contact with it's a place in my area called Independent Cat Society, and they have a trap neuter return program, um, which is basically you trap it's a because most of these cats are stray and feral. They aren't too friendly. I mean, you're
Yeah.
lucky if you find the friendly ones, which I have. I found plenty of friendly ones, but so you got to trap them, and then you take them into a veterinary clinic that the Independent Cat Society has a partnership with, and you get them fixed and you take care of them for a couple days and make sure they're good to go, and then you let them back out, and that's why it's trap, neuter, return. Um, but so I did that. I probably have trapped and fixed about 17, 18 cats. And on top
Wow.
of that, I probably had found home for 3 or 4 litters of kittens. Because after, I was taking care of the cats in the area, like me and my neighbors and a few other areas up and down the neighbors up and down the street. We were putting food out, taking care of them. And I became a favorite of the cats. So they would start having babies at my freaking house. So when the kittens were old enough, I would bring them in and get them used to humans and find them homes. Um,
That's
and
awesome, man. You did a fundraiser recently too, for
yeah, yeah,
Independent Cat Society. Let's shout that out. Where can we find them if you want to donate? Which you should. Everyone listening to this should donate to Independent Cat
they're
Society.
actually in Westville, Indiana. It's because I live on the port and they're in Westville, Indiana, and all you would really have to do is type in Westville, Indiana Independent Cat Society, and you'll find their link. And if you want to donate, they have a PayPal. But yeah, they're always doing a lot of help, a lot of good for the felines in our area. Um, they're always doing. Um, if there's a let's just like if there's a cat that has some type of medical issue, they're you know um, forking over money to try to help these cats that have medical issues if they're sick, if they're hurt, and they're just going above and beyond, and that's why they're just one of my absolute favorite places to because they let people go in and you can go. They have like cat rooms where you can just go sit and hang out with the cats that they have that they're trying to adopt out to. They're just doing so much, and that's why I just love them. Just love that place and what they're all about. Because I feel like they get a cats get a bad rap. I mean, some cats are assholes. We know this, but just what what people do to them and some of the situation cats get in because people are irresponsible with their animals, and it's not even just cats, dogs too.
Yeah.
Not well, all animals around the world. Let's be honest, humans treat animals like shit, but yeah,
Yeah, man. And it was what was it, like a month or two ago? You mentioned that cat that needed surgery, and so we've got this group chat, this felines and fantasy football group chat that just consists of cat conversation, cat memes all day,
yeah.
every day, all week. It's insane. That's literally all we talk about. Like,
We just started sharing the TikTok ones now.
yeah,
A,
now we're doing the
a whole
TikTok ones.
world, man. A
It,
whole new
yeah,
world. Sorry.
it is a bump in chat, right? So we got
Yeah.
Nate and Faith and you and me and Chris Robin and Joey are in there. Like,
Hmm.
we're just talking cats all the time. But you shared that that cat needed surgery, and people just stepped up like real quick on that. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
man. I think they actually they had like I think it was like around a 1,600 estimate of what they needed to help her, and I think we ended up passing like a $5,000 mark.
wow.
And so yeah, I mean, because I shared it once we shared it on Twitter. I think a lot of people started just doing that anonymous donating, which that's my favorite kind of donating. To be honest with you, I mean, y- not that I like to be vocal about what I do to try to change the situation, but I don't do it for clout. So
Right. It's
it's
because you
about
care. Right.
yes, yes.
That's awesome, man. I love
So
that.
yeah,
And
but that's sorry, just to make sure anybody who was actually concerned about that cat, she's okay. She does have a little bit of nerve damage in her paw, but she's an inside cat now. We found a foster for her and everything, so it was great, and she's better now. So
that's awesome, man. That's good stuff. Yeah, we love our cats in that chat.
yeah, we
Yeah,
do.
we're always talking cats. So all right, switching gears back to fantasy football. So I know you answered this God knows how long ago on the IDP guys podcast, but
Yeah.
when did you get into fantasy football and IDP specifically? How'd that start?
Um, that probably started when I really got into it when I was probably, I want to say 24, 25. I was a late bloomer. I mean, I was always playing like fantasy football, but I never really decided to dive deep. It was always just like I was a casual player. Um, and then I got into a league with a whole bunch of guys, an IDP league with guys I worked with. and that's when it really took off for me. And that's what I told my buddies. They created a freaking monster. Um, and because I mean I'm in like 3 or 4 leagues with them now, and I was in the championship of each league last year.
Ooh.
So I was like, I told you guys, like you created a monster, like, um, yeah, and I'm like one of the guys that, they're kind of like we all kind of bounce ideas off each other, but I feel like I'm one of the guys they kind of rely on for, um, a little bit of that deeper knowledge, because it's ridiculous. You and I could probably sit there and come up with, um, the quarterback, the third cornerback on a team, the fourth linebacker on a team. It's the depth of knowledge we have on these teams' rosters is probably kind of sad.
It is a little bit, right? Most normal fantasy players, like when I talk fantasy, they're like, You're playing with defensive players. Why?" And
Right,
then,
right.
and then it's like, You're playing with corners? What? Like, huh? What's wrong with
Defensive
you?"
tackle zone. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, that's good stuff, though. How about some of your early favorite IDPs, like when you first started?
Um. Gosh. See, that's the thing is that it's always so similar to everybody else's, and I hate being such a
Yeah.
stan. But
Yeah,
it's about when I started playing. So it's
right.
Luke Kuechly and Harrison Smith is a big one for me.
Mm,
Um. Oh man, the defensive line is that's the thing. I've never had Aaron Donald on my team, any of my teams, but he's a great
really?
player. Yeah, I've never been able to roster him. I don't draft him when he should be drafted. I'm looking at elsewhere, and I'm one of those guys who I could probably find that kind of uh, I could find some value deeper in the draft, where that's where I kind of trust myself to do stuff, to find that value deeper, especially with the stuff we're discovering with the waiver wire and how things are working. Especially with such a, I swear it seems like we could find a countless, like not a countless amount, but um, a good handful of linebackers and safeties
Oh,
to
yeah.
just right off the waiver wire every season. So it's not. I'm going to get my defensive line guys first. So
Yeah, definitely, man. It's funny because you're not the first person that's mentioned this, but it's like as we get deeper into IDP, I become less concerned with my IDP defense because I know
hmm
I can fix that during the season. I'm gonna know about those waivers much like you and much like guys like Kyle and Joey, days before anyone else, and I'll have them before other people even know they're there, and
yeah,
you know what I mean? So that means I can use that draft capital on, additional quarterbacks in super flex or depth at wide receiver and running back or whatever, like places of, scarcity, things like that.
yes, yes. Um, I never gave you a defensive line guy.
Yeah, yeah. What do you got?
Um, I would have. I mean, I guess I would throw in a. Mine would have to be J.J. Watt. I mean, just everything he's done, and I've had him on my teams,
Mm.
so he's been one of my impact guys when I first started playing.
Dude, and when you were getting those 20 sack seasons and he's catching touchdown passes and stuff like at the same
Yeah,
time, it's just like, oh my God, this is not fair to everyone else.
yeah. When you can get those kind of guys, that's what I won't be surprised to see Philadelphia do something like that with Jordan Davis this year. Um, I feel like he's going to be kind of a like almost like a type of William Perry type of player for Philadelphia. I wouldn't be surprised, anyways. He's
That
athletic. You got to see what he can do on the offensive side.
That's cool, man. I love stuff like that. The fridge did deny Walter Payton his touchdown in the '85 championship, though, so
Yeah, he did.
that's all right. They still got a Super Bowl, so that's okay.
Yeah, it's been too long. We need another.
Shit, I hear you, man. It's I saw my last one 10 years after you guys saw your last one, but yeah, it's been a while for both of us.
Yes, it has. We've had to sit and watch everybody else get theirs. Sooner or later, it's going to be our time, Johnny.
That's right. That's right. Good shit, man. Okay, so what about? All right, so we were talking about video games, in the DMs earlier. What else do you do besides, when you got free time besides content creation, fantasy football? What are some other hobbies? Any other sports you like?
I'll watch about any sport really. The only thing I mean you guys are probably gonna hate me for this one because I know some of the people who are gonna listen to this are big golf fans, but I can't stand golf.
Yeah.
I cannot stand golf, dude. I had a bad experience when I was a kid, and it just ruined it for me. I was practicing with my grandpa's clubs, and I swear, dude, I was across. I had to been like 200 yards away from my house, maybe more, maybe. And I swung, hit the ball, and I was like, "Oh, that's a real good hit," and it went and hit our shattered our glass front door.
Ooh.
My dad was so mad. Never
Ooh.
golfed again.
That'll do it. That'll do
Yeah,
it, man. Yep, that's all
yeah.
it takes. I've 1,000% had traumatic events happen during my golf career too. Thankfully, none to me, but a buddy shattered a windshield in the parking lot one time by clubbing down too much, and
Oh man.
another guy killed a duck on a drive.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
No, gosh.
yeah. So yeah, golf can do that, man. You can have
Yeah.
some. There can be some bad times.
Yeah, I think it was just because I was probably 3rd or 4th grade, and my dad used to
Ooh.
scare the shit out of me when he
Hmm.
was mad. So it just, like, totally, like, that was, just that switch turned off for me. But, I mean, I played lacrosse in high school. I love lacrosse.
Oh no shit! What position were you?
I was an attacker.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I was a second string attack, which means I sat on the bench, but I got to wear the jacket, and the girls liked the jacket, so that's all I gave a shit about.
Yeah, um I played my because it was it wasn't a school sport, it was a club sport, so we had to pay for everything ourselves, at the time when I was playing. So I played my sophomore and junior year, and then my senior year, I became a stoner, so I stopped playing.
Yep.
Uh, but, I mean, I still have my lacrosse stick. I'll still walk around my house cradling my balls. So,
Yep.
you know, I'll walk around the house doing that every now and then. That's how I play fetch with my dog. I'll throw a
Oh,
tennis ball and he'll
nice.
go get it. That's how when we play with that, that's how we play. So I like disc golf. I will play disc golf. I don't like golfing, but I will play disc golf. Um, ultimate frisbee is fun. Um, those are sports to me. And then I got I watch basketball. I like soccer, and I'm a big Cubs fan. So
Nice, dude. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So NBA playoffs right now. Are you pulling for anyone in particular?
I
Or...
was pulling for the Bulls, but fucking Bucks. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
I hate Wisconsin, Johnny. I hate Wisconsin with a passion. Anything Wisconsin. I hate Green Bay. I hate Milwaukee. I do like the
Ooh.
Wisconsin Dells,
Okay.
but
Okay.
that's where I draw the line. Sports teams. I hate the Brewers. I hate the Brewers.
No shit, dude. Yeah, I don't know about these Midwest rivalries slash hatred. I know, Ohio State, Michigan, but
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Nice.
anything Chicago and like Green Bay like Chicago, Green Bay, Chicago, Milwaukee. Those are starting to heat up pretty. Those have been growing a lot more this past decade. I think it's the whole. I blame Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what I do. I blame Aaron Rodgers because I think he's just got the city of Chicago to freaking hate him. So anything involved with Green Bay or Milwaukee is just okay. Chicago hates you.
Oh man, I could see that. I could see that. So
Hate's a strong word. We don't hate him. We just hate how good he
dislike.
is.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I feel you. So okay, so those are sports you watch besides do you play any video games or any other hobbies like, you know.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'll play Fortnite with my daughter. She's a lot
Okay.
better. She's a lot better than me. But um, I like playing. I'll play Madden. I'll play MLB The Show, NBA 2K. I'm a big sports game guy. And then I told you how I played Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh yeah.
When I was a kid, I played World of Warcraft. I loved playing World of Warcraft, and then StarCraft, and regular Warcraft before it was World of Warcraft, and regular StarCraft before it was the crazy StarCraft, Diablo. Um,
Yeah, those are classics.
yeah,
The old
Fable.
PC games. Yes, Fable. Yeah. Yeah.
Fable's a really big favorite of mine. Yeah, man, and it's just I'm just more of a casual. At this point, I can't game as much as I'd like to because my daughter's gaming on my console instead of me. But
Yeah. Yeah. And,
that's
and we
what we
got
play. night
we
together.
got
So
we got life and shit too, right? Like
yeah, oh yeah,
it's just not the time there used to be for it.
right, right.
Yeah, no, that's cool. What about you guys into like any of the Marvel stuff or Star
Oh, dude,
Wars
yeah.
or?
I'm big Marvel guy. I collect comics. Like I buy so many comics that I shouldn't. So, and I collect baseball cards, football cards. I haven't, I haven't gotten to the big box breaks like Nate does, but I do that kind of stuff with I'll go on pristineauction.com and they have comic book where you can get like surprise boxes of like comics that were from the 70s, 80s, 90s that have been barely been touched, and they're mystery packs, so you don't know what's inside it, and you get like 25 comics. So I'll put in bids on pristineauction.com for those and hit on those every now and then. So that's where I got some pretty badass comics from through there. I need to start sending them in to get graded to see where I'm at. But yeah, I've got some I think some nice hits.
Nice, dude. Yeah, that's good stuff, man. And that can be like something you pass down to your daughters too. And
Mhm.
God knows what that's worth. A generation or two from now, right? Like,
Well, that's where I slap myself for not keeping my Pokemon cards,
yeah. Oh, yeah, dude.
dude.
You and me both.
I,
Yep.
I seeing some of the Charizard cards worth fucking
Ugh.
$350. Like, man, I so could use that $350 right now.
I know, man. It's insane. I used to do the same with Magic the Gathering. I had all those cards. Like,
I was
not.
Yu-Gi-Oh too and Digimon.
Yeah, right. So we didn't know, right? We just didn't know. So
Yeah,
it's
because
too bad.
what we how but that's crazy, because we had at that point in our lives, we were probably had baseball cards or football cards or something too, and we know those were valuable. But I don't know why I didn't think this paper card would be valuable, and so I just didn't keep it. I sold it at a garage sale for like $10. It's like,
Oh.
like why did why would I do that? And so, but yep.
I hear you, man. I hear you. That's all right. That's all right. We're learning. We'll be
Oh yeah,
better.
live and
We'll
learn, man. Live and learn.
that's it. Live and learn. So okay. So for anyone that doesn't know, how'd you get into the writing and the ranking? Where'd that come from?
This is a great story. Um, so before all the drama happened with Jordan, um,
Mm,
we were when he was still with Jared as part of the IDP army there, they had a listener
yeah.
league. So I got into that with Kyle Bellafuel, good old K Bell, and Joey the Tooth. We were all in there, and we were just everything was casual. And then I was shooting the shit with Joey one day, and I think that's when Kyle was still part of what was it? He was part of Pigskin.
Oh yeah. Right. Fake pigskin. Yep.
Fake Pigskin, yep. And
Yeah.
Joey was just happened to say that you guys were looking for riders at IDP guys, and I told him, I was because obviously I was starting to dive deeper into IDP itself, and I was growing interested because I actually wrote for my high school newspaper. I actually got a scholarship for my writing,
Really?
high school, yeah. And I ended up dropping out of college because I was a dumbass, but I um so I ended up sending in a piece to Nate, and it was acceptable for him, I guess. So I became part of the team, and that's how I started meeting all you guys, and I think that was not even shortly longer after that. Uh, Started, the COVID leagues hit, and so we all
Mm.
started to become a lot more friendlier with each other and learned a lot more about each other, and you know, um, God bless Sean and all the freaking leagues he has to run now.
Oh, I know, dude. I think he's probably upset that he started that many. Good
Yeah.
God.
And I mean, I don't even think I can't even last time I had a conversation with Sean. I feel like I should message him and see how he's doing. But I feel like at this point, somebody should just speak up to Sean and be like, hey, dude, do you like want to just cancel these leagues? Because I
Yeah,
feel like he doesn't at this point, because he's so freaking busy, dude. He can't. That's so many leagues. So
I
many
know.
leagues.
It's like what, 10 or 15? It's a lot.
Hmm.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually
I
talking to
think
him.
I'm like 8 of them. So
Right. Yeah, no, I was talking to him today. He's doing good, but
good,
you're
good,
right.
good.
That is a lot. That is definitely a lot.
I think managing like 2 or 3 leagues is hard. I can't imagine that many. I think he
Yeah.
gave one to Joey.
Yeah, well, a good variety is important too, right? So like, when we get in this part of the off season, it's like, man, I really want to do some drafts. That's when you do your best balls, right? So that you
Mhm.
still scratch that itch without being committed to a dynasty team for the next 5 to 10 years or whatever it is, right?
Right, right, right.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, dude, and we're happy we got you, man. You survived that first year, which many, many people do not. And you've been a key part of the team ever since you came here. So I am sure as shit glad that you followed up on that.
Yeah, I'm trying to, my main thing has been the breakout um series during the off season. And then I did the injury report stuff. Um, but that's your COVID hit, and that's when I lost my job, and then I lost my house, and so much was happening that I couldn't keep up with my word, and that's one of the hardest things for me is when I can't keep my word. I hate that. I hate doing that. Um, so that was I'm trying to find something to get into during in season. Um, but yeah, that was that it's been a I want to say it's been an honor to be able to get into this with all you guys and become part of this team, meet all of you. It's been it's good for the soul. Good for the soul.
Dude, it's been wild, right? Like it's grown so
It's
much.
been
Like
yeah, dude.
it's
T- Oh my gosh, it's been the growth has been tremendous, and every the direction we're going. It's I feel like especially with um I feel like IDP itself is becoming more popular, and
yeah.
with us being one of the premier sites for IDP content, um, I think the sky's the limit for us right now. So
Definitely, man. Definitely. So, all right. So, I mean, so we just had the draft, so we can factor this in a little bit. But you got a few sleepers you're banging the drum for this year?
yeah, um, I like one of my big ones is I was a little worried about how it was going to go with the draft. But I like Mikel Walker from Atlanta. I know Atlanta drafted Troy Anderson and added Rashawn Evans, but we basically know what Rashawn Evans is at this point. He's a role player, so I'm not
Hmm.
worried about him. And uh, I think Troy Anderson is, he's a really great looking prospect, but I think he's probably going to play. I think he's eventually going to be the Deion Jones replacement. So I feel like Michael Walker's got a nice path to snaps. And we know how productive and lucrative that the LB spots in Atlanta can be for
Oh
IDP.
yeah. Yep.
So I'm a big fan of Michael Walker. Um, Defensive line, I was really high on Uchenna and Wosu. I still am, but when I had made that status about kind of leaked a few of my IDP breakouts, and you know, God bless him, Tom Kislingberry. He always makes me rethink everything. So,
He
he's so good at what he does, and the stuff he throws at you, it just makes you think really hard. So that's what's part of the reason I postponed until after the draft too, because I just wanted to really make sure because for I feel like there's an edge is gonna break out in Seattle,
yeah.
and they're leaning at Darrell Taylor, which I totally understand. He was a great prospect out of Tennessee. I'm not saying he's not a good player, but for me, I really like, they paid him, they paid Uchenna some good money to come over there from Los Angeles, and I feel like Uchenna is one of those players I feel like has been on the rise, and I feel like he can bring something to some IDP managers this year. Um, at safety, I haven't. Safety is usually one of the, and defensive backs are usually one of the last ones I look at. So I haven't dug too deep into that, but I'm really high on Jordan Whitehead for the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to have a really good year for them. I like. Uh, I like Marcus Williams in Baltimore for some reason. I don't know why that's sticking out to me. I feel like Baltimore they just ran circles around anybody in the draft. Uh, and now they got Kyle Hamilton too. And I feel like, Kyle Hamilton is going to be one of those players who I don't know if he's going to be like, um, he's going to go out there and start first game of the season and become a IDP star. But I feel like he's going to be one of those players that works his way into that Baltimore defense and just becomes, they find out what all he can do. And then that's when, at the end of the, during the playoff, is when you're going to see top notch Kyle Hamilton. And I really like Marcus May for the Saints right now, too.
Yeah, I like that. I like that Whitehead one a lot.
Hmm.
Kyle was saying that too, and as soon as he said it, it clicked in my head. I was like, that makes perfect sense. Like they were starting Elijah Riley last year. That
Yeah.
makes sense. It has
Right,
to be.
right.
And Whitehead was producing in a super crowded Tampa Bay defense too.
Yes, he
Like
was.
so
And he was
he's gonna
doing
clean
very
up.
well at it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
right. He's gonna clean up in New York. Absolutely.
Yes, he will, dude. Especially with the only person really in front of him, CJ Mosley.
Right.
So,
Right. That's it. Yeah. That's good stuff. Okay. Though
they did
that
draft that Jamie and Sherwood, and they had that one other guy. Macri was really high on them both, and I can't think of the other one. Uh,
yeah.
but we'll see what they do this year. But they had some injuries, I think. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, and it'll work itself out. Yeah, I like those though. Those are good ones. What so okay, so how about this? So if you had to make a Mount Rushmore of your all-time IDP greats from, whenever, any period in history to now, current, whatever. You get four guys. Who's on that Mount Rushmore?
Um, Luke Kuechly has got to be on it for me. Um, I'd have to say, um,
He's been on
JJ.
everyone's so far, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. JJ Watt has got to be on there for me, but I'm gonna, you know, it's it's hard for me because I haven't been playing as long as some of you guys, but um, like the guys that are sticking out to me like right now that I think that could end up being up on that, on that Mount Rushmore, um, is guys like Uh, ch- well, I got one that I kind of had a little bit of experience with that I could put up there as an older as Troy Polamalu.
Ooh, yes.
He was just a freak of nature. I think
Mm-hmm.
his one of his relations was supposed to be in this draft, if
Yeah,
I'm not
I
mistaken.
remember something about that too. But yeah, man, Palomalu, prime Palomalu was
Yeah,
like an X factor for your IDP defense.
yeah,
Like, yeah, he could have you an acceptable game, or he could win you your week as a safety.
and it was, and just the fact that he was one of the most entertaining players to watch. If you're watching a Steelers game, it's like you want to watch Troy Polamalu. So, and then I guess I could. Man, uh, it's like I said, since I haven't been playing as long, it's hard to throw a name up there about. But I really like. I'm always a big fan of Eric Kendricks. He's
Mm,
been so clutch for me, and he's been playing for a while, so I feel like he's a guy I could say. Um, and right now, I mean, just because I'm such a stan, because he was one of my breakout candidates. Um, If I could, if had to switch out Troy Polamalu with somebody, it would be Jordan Poyer, and I think Logan Wilson can end up being an IDP stud if he was a fourth one for me. But
nice. I like that. I like that. Yeah, man. Poyer, same deal, right? Like consistent 100 plus. Well, not 100 plus, but close to 100 tackles every year
him and
for a
Justin Simmons, man, so similar.
Yeah, just consistent year in and year out, quiet. It's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. Like just really solid. Kendricks too. If you've got a healthy Kendricks, you're getting a monster game. It's that
Oh
simple.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He's it'd be interesting to see how they use him this year with Jordan Hicks in Minnesota now. But I think we're gonna see a couple like them use a two linebacker set a little bit more now. So we'll see what they. I think they're going to be doing like a 3-4 or something. So we'll see what happens there. But
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of this year, let's make some stupid early predictions. So 2023 inside linebacker one. If you had to guess today, Sunday, May 1st.
I feel like somebody already gave this answer, and you know me. This is everybody's oh what a homer, but no, Roquan Smith, man. And I think it's even bigger now that we have Darius Leonard's old coach, Eberflus, Coach Flus. I think he's gonna make Roquan into a monster, um,
Yep.
and truly coach this guy. Not that he hasn't been coached well before, but I think he's gonna put Roquan on the spot. Are you gonna be a leader? Are you gonna are you gonna become what the city of Chicago wants you to be? And not saying that he already isn't. City of Chicago loves Roquan Smith, but I think he has not reached his ceiling. So
Yeah, no, that would be my answer too.
you
That seems like
you
the
can see
safe choice.
one of my favorite matchups every year is him and Dalvin Cook,
Oh
and
yeah.
he always I swear he always wins that matchup.
Yeah, dude, that's a great answer. I'm with you on that. How about, I mean, this one's pretty obvious too, probably, but outside pass rush linebacker one.
Uh, I mean, I think you got to give it to the obvious answer, T.J. Watt, but I think there's gonna be. We'll see how some of these rookies and some of these people that switch teams get designated, but um, I think there might be some guys that could give him a run for his money this year.
Yeah, right. I mean, there's always surprises, right? Like
Harold
Hassan,
Landry has been
y-
playing great, dude.
right? Landry last year, Hassan Reddick. Like there
Hmm.
were guys that had monster seasons, and freaking Robert Quinn for Christ's sakes.
Oh,
Like,
I know, dude. Hey, Robert Quinn.
yeah, this cat is all up in my shit right now. Come on, cat.
I finally got mine to lay down.
I know she is not taking a hint here. What about who you think's going to be DE1 for this year?
I think Chase Young is gonna
Ooh,
come back onto the scene, and I wouldn't be. I think he's gonna give um Miles Garrett a run for his money this year. And
I like that.
yeah, Miles Garrett's he's obviously a good possibility, but yeah, I really like Chase Young for this year.
That'd be great, man. If he because we
Finally
saw
works out.
right, yeah, we saw flashes of it his rookie year, but
Mhm.
he's been injured more often than not. It'd be nice to see the draft capital pay off.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, how about DT1?
I mean Aaron Donald.
Yeah, no, yeah. Basically, until he retires or is like
Yeah,
hit by a car or something, it's Aaron Donald.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like he would hit the car, a car wouldn't hit him.
This is true. It would explode around him into a million
Yeah.
pieces. Yeah.
Have you watched Moon Knight at all?
Yes.
Dude, like when the car hits that jackal and it
Right.
just stops, that's Aaron Donald.
I could see that. Okay, how about safety? This one's kind of iffy. What do you think?
Um, Safety one
Yeah.
for 2022. Um,
This is
Man,
yeah, this is the one no one can agree on.
and I'm not high on Jamal Adams anymore. Um,
Same.
I feel like he's out of his prime. So I'm past the Jamal Adams hype. Um,
Yeah,
Trying
and
to bounce around the teams that went through my head.
right
These are the ones I waited to I like to do on the spot. I didn't write this one down.
right, and Poyer and Smith are getting older, and
Hmm.
Derwin gets hurt a lot, and
I think Winfield Jr.
stuff.
could have a
Ooh,
shot at it.
yeah.
Um, God forbid if Kari Willis stays healthy for a year, he's capable of doing it. But I think I would have to, what I'm gonna say Kyle Duggar.
Ooh,
I mean, I know that's
okay.
not likely gonna happen, but I think he does. Kyle Duggar is um, a lot better player than people give him credit for. And I think uh, Belichick is starting to love him more and more every year. I wouldn't be surprised to see his snap count go up a little bit more.
Exactly, man. I think that's the only thing holding him back, right? Like if he
Mm,
gets that full Devin McCourty playing time, which I think
right.
wasn't McCourty the only person that got almost every snap on the Patriots last
Yep.
year? Like
I
that's
think
it.
that's I think I feel like that's the spot they're grooming him for.
Yeah,
So
I could see that. Duggar had monster numbers with subpar playing time last year. It's definitely possible. That would be
he was one of
wild.
my safety breakout candidates last year that I hit on, and I was pretty proud of that one too.
Oh yeah, that was a good call. All right, how about corner? I mean, this is the truly unpredictable one.
Well, to be honest, I really think AJ Terrell has a really good shot this year.
Ooh, I love that
Um,
answer. That's my answer.
and and then here comes another homer pick. I think Jalen Johnson's gonna give people a run for their money for IDP this year, and I really like Kyler Gordon, the Bears pick at corner this year. I mean, the Bears defense is probably gonna see some extra time on the field this year, so I feel like those guys are going to um, have a chance at more plays. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, definitely, dude. And it's not uncommon. I mean, Kyle Fuller used to put up corner one numbers all the time
Mhm.
in Chicago, so it's doable. Um, yeah, I'm with you though. AJ Terrell, gun to my head, it's AJ Terrell. I feel like he is primed for a huge season this year.
I'm trying to figure out. I've been watching the corners. I'm gonna keep an eye on camp here really closely, but I'm trying to find out who Coach Flus is gonna make his Kenny Moore. And I think the Bears are gonna basically gonna end up getting a version of their own Kenny Moore out of one of their corners. Um, and it's gonna, he likes using those slot guys for various stuff. I would even be surprised if it ended up being the Jaquan Brisker, that safety they drafted. I feel like he can almost play that role for them. They want him to be a playmaker. So we'll see what happens. But I feel like we're gonna find they're gonna get almost their own version of Kenny Moore, and that's gonna be nice to have for IDP.
Oh, dude, definitely. Good stuff. All right, so who do you think's going to the Super Bowl this year?
I think, man, I feel like the AFC West is just gonna like beat each other up so much that the Bills
Mhm.
are just going to walk into the Super Bowl. For the AFC side, I think it's the Bills. Um, for NFC side, it's gonna be Green Bay, Tampa Bay, or Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So I'm leaning Los Angeles just because I feel like somehow they've made their team even better. So
Yeah, no, I'm with you, dude. Yeah, I think it's pretty clearly one of those three in the NFC, but very likely the Rams. And then on the AFC, it just feels like it's the Bills' time, right? Like,
yeah,
is Casey going to go without Tyreek Hill? Nope.
I
Um,
don't. Yeah, Casey is definitely not gonna. I mean, I don't. Even with drafting that Sky Moore, I don't think you're not gonna be able to get that backyard football stuff back that you had with Tyreek, and that's gonna hurt you. Um, I think Russell Wilson with Denver. I think that's gonna obviously make Denver a better team.
oh yeah.
But Russell Wilson is still Russell Wilson. I think he's
Hmm.
kind. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna. I don't think he's like. I don't think he's gonna be good at like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are. Down the he was. He's. I don't think he's got that same health stuff that he can that they have.
Yeah,
Um,
and the Cincy thing, like common sense would dictate. Well, maybe it's Cincy. They're fixing their offensive line. That felt like a fluke to me in the first place.
mhm.
They got hot at the right time and won a few games in a row and ended up in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if it's sustainable.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Cincinnati is a good team. I just
Yeah.
don't think they're gonna be. They're not gonna go 17-0. They're in one of the toughest divisions alone too. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, and I really like the Chargers this year
Yeah.
too. I mean,
Yeah.
I
Yep.
like what they've done. Bringing in Khalil Mack, adding J.C. Jackson, Justin Herbert is just such a good quarterback, and he's young and capable of. I don't think he's hit his ceiling yet. And the Raiders, um,
Yeah. They're going
you know,
for it.
yeah, that's it's crazy. But yeah, I'm still leaning Bills. My Bills is my answer on that one.
Yep, no, I'm with you on that. Yeah, it's going to be weird. It's shifting. The last few years it's been NFC loaded and AFC just a couple teams. Now it's AFC loaded and NFC just a couple teams. It's very
Yeah,
strange. Yeah.
it's a crazy thing to watch, and I think we got a lot of young teams in the NFC now. And eventually it's going to swing back to the NFC side, and then it's going to swing back to the AFC side. So
That's it, man. Yeah, but no, it's going to be a good year, that's for sure. All right, so this next segment we call shifting gears. So we're literally going to shift some gears. So, what are some of your favorite movies and TV shows? Maybe a couple few each.
Um, Favorite movies. My favorite comedy is Anchorman with Will Ferrell.
Okay,
I
yep.
love Anchorman. You know, me, my dad, and my sister could probably sit and quote that movie to each other like almost the entire movie. Um, I also like the original Scary movie, the spoof of Scream.
Oh yeah.
That
Yep.
and Scary Movie 1 and Scary Movie 2 and Scary Movie 3. I thought those were all really great. I like those dumb comedy movies. Um, a big fan of the movie Gettysburg.
Oh, that is a great movie. Not a lot of people even know
Yeah.
what that is. That is a great movie.
Yeah, big fan of that. I'm a really big history guy. My grandpa,
Yes.
because when my parents got divorced, my dad left for a little bit, to kind of work on himself and find himself. So my grandpa became like my, stand-in father figure, other than my stepdad. But I'd spend a lot of time with my grandpa and watch History Channel stuff, and so I got really into history. I'm really good at trivia. I love trivia. Sorry, that's
No,
randomness,
dude,
but
no, I love that. I love that. And that's a super interesting topic too. Like the entire Civil War changed on that one
mhm.
3-day battle.
Yeah, yeah, it did. Changed the course of history.
It did.
So,
It really did. And that's such a great movie too. Like
yeah, the people they pick to play the parts, the lead
perfect.
parts, just oh my god, like that cast selection is just top notch.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a great selection. What other history movies do you like? The usual kind of.
Midway,
Yeah.
even though it's so like the new one they made and the old one, A Bridge Too Far. I just all those old war movies I would sit and watch with my grandpa all the time. Any the John Wayne movies, all
Oh
that kind of
yeah.
stuff. Um, I like I don't know if you saw Dunkirk. Dunkirk was really
Oh, yeah,
good.
that was great. That was great. You know
Uh,
what's funny about Dunkirk was that we were seeing something else, me and Nate, and the trailer for Dunkirk came on, and no one knew what the hell it was. And I'm butting Nate on the side, and I go, "It's fucking Dunkirk. It's Dunkirk." And he goes, "What is Dunkirk?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's the
dude,
World War II battle where they evacuated
yeah,
the British Army, and it like basically saved the British Army." And he's like, "What are you
yeah,
talking about?" And I'm like, "Well, you'll see in like 6 months when it comes out."
right. Yeah, dude, that was somehow, the British citizenship saved
Right,
their country. They saved their
with
country.
fucking yeah, with private boats
hmm
and
Fishing merchants,
fishing
merchant
merchant
ships.
ships,
Yeah,
yeah, crazy.
it's amazing. The amount of people they got across that channel, the lives they've saved, and another thing that changed the course of history.
That's it, man. I love stuff like that, yeah,
Those defining moments. Yeah.
yeah, that's good stuff, man. Yeah, those are great selections, and then what about, TV shows? So I assume you gotta watch some stuff with the girls, I'm guessing that's where maybe the Marvel stuff comes in?
Yeah, we'll sit and watch that Marvel stuff. I luckily I can get my girls to watch that. I big sounds so corny, but I like the show Supernatural, The Office. I love The Office, hands down, probably my favorite. Star Trek, Next Generation,
Oh, yeah.
Battlestar Galactica.
Yes.
That's the kind of stuff I grew up watching and would just rewatch.
Love that stuff, dude. Yeah, whenever Star Trek is like, it's like therapy almost, watching
Yep.
Star Trek: The Next Generation. It
Have you
helps
watched
me.
Picard at all yet?
I have. It's
Yeah, it's
yeah,
different. It's
it's
different.
different. Yeah, CBS fucked it up,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
eh,
I'm still putting up with it, but
same.
it's definitely it's kind of like what they did with Halo. Halo isn't bad, but it's some of the reviews I saw, Halo is like heaven. I was like, no,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
no,
not the
it's
review I would give it.
right. Well, CBS wants to make it about romance and SJW nonsense. It's
Mhm.
like, no, it's alien races invading and the Covenant, and
Yeah.
it's just I don't know, but I'm still watching it. They got me.
Another big one I like is Criminal Minds too. Um, I don't know if you've seen that, but I that's Criminal Minds is another one I've had gotten into, and that's one of those shows I could just I like especially when I have stuff to do. I like being able to put on a show that I can listen to and I know what's happening, but I don't have to watch it. So
Yeah.
that's one of the shows I'll flip on, or I'll flip on The Office, or just random shows like um God, I like Friends. Friends is one of my favorite shows. Um, and even though I can't stand his voice, Seinfeld.
Yep, Seinfeld's great. Good background noise. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice. All right, that's a good list. Okay, how about this? So if you won the lotto tomorrow, what would you do the rest of your life?
I mean, I think you already have a kind of an inkling what I do, but if depending on the amount of money I had won, I would make sure I put an account, get two accounts set up for my daughters for to where they're set up when they are adults. I would find um, some lucrative businesses or stocks to invest in, and I would also buy. I want, my lifelong dream is I want to buy a ranch with, I want to have, if I could have multiple acres of property, that would be great. And I want to spend, I would, if I could spend the rest of my life and die being happy by rescuing and saving animals. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say something like that. That's awesome, man. That's that'd be great, right? Like
Like only I can find a woman to share that with.
that's
But
what I'm saying. Hey, you want to come live with me and like 30 cats?
right, exactly. I mean, if you don't mind the smell of cat piss, hey. But if you do, I'm not the guy for you.
Yeah,
Not
seriously,
not saying
dude.
I smell like cat piss, but for 30 cats, you're gonna probably smell like cat piss.
Oh, no, no doubt. I wouldn't care. I love cats.
Oh, me too, man. I got
Yeah.
four, so you know
Yeah.
it.
Nice. All right. Well, that's a good plan. How about okay, so getting back to our history topic here. If you could time travel and see one event in history, what would it be and why?
Man, I loved Kyle's answer to this, the whole Great Pyramid thing.
Oh yeah.
Um, that is epic. But we already kind of hit on it earlier. I would it would be probably one of the hardest things to watch, but I would go back and watch the Battle of Gettysburg.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's wild is people did that. You know what I mean? During the Civil War,
They did. They literally like camped out and watched battles.
right, they'd have a
Yeah,
picnic and watch people getting blown away and stuff,
yeah,
which is fucking wild.
yeah. I mean, we sit and watch people like murder each other in UFC now. It's a little
Yeah.
bit toned down, and then the football, people getting knocked out. It's some of it, the broken legs. That's our entertainment now. But yeah, I can't imagine like going over to Ukraine and trying to watch that for entertainment now.
I know.
I
It's
can't even
crazy.
stomach half the videos I've seen of stuff going down, and stuff I've seen in Syria, Iraq, Ukraine. Just how humanity treats each other and treats the world around it. We're such a freaking plague on this planet. So,
Yeah. No,
and
you get no.
it's weird. I've dug into been down some deep rabbit holes, Johnny, and about the whole thing about how like people like the whole alien theory and um how people say that there's no way humans were made or born here or created here on earth, that we had to have come from a different place because all we do is alter the environment of our planet. We're not you know it's it's
We
just weird. We can breathe the air, but everything else we alter.
right, right.
So
We're not in synchronicity or whatever
yes,
with our
exactly.
environment. Yeah,
Hmm.
no, I'm with you on that. No, you'll get no argument from me. Humanity fucking sucks. Like
You
they're
watch videos of the just how you know lines and lines of cows, chickens, all the stuff we eat just packed into factory farms, and I'm guilty. I'm still eating it. I know I try to eat, but I won't lie. I do try to eat a little bit. Like I'll eat that Impossible Whopper or something from Burger King every now and then, or I'll get Morning Star, the vegetarian stuff from
mm,
for
yeah.
breakfast and stuff like that. I try to do that every now and then. I try to do right sometimes, even though meat's so good, but I try to do right because I can't sit there and be a hypocrite when I see somebody over in China, boiling a dog because that's what they eat. So, and we do the same things. Put a cow into a butcher in that butcher little cage they sit in, and they slit their throats or hit them with a bullet gun, and that's what they do. And it's a little bit more humane than boiling a dog alive, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it's same. It's the same thing. So
I know, man. It's really crazy. It really is. And we're not the greatest species, but I think what you're doing what you can, right? You're keeping your
right.
side of the street clean and you're giving back where you can with what you can, by helping animals and teaching your daughters to grow up right, stuff like that. So
I do think we're seeing a shift in that type of consciousness in our world, though. I think you're seeing people start to um, I mean, I think one thing we've noticed is with technology, this empathy has kind of empathy. It makes it seem like empathy is not there, but then you see the good videos and realize, okay, empathy does exist.
Right.
And I think when people see that stuff, they wanna recreate those types of acts of kindness. So
Y- Definitely, man. Definitely. So, okay, you brought this up, so we're going into it. So, do you think alien life exists in the universe beyond us?
yeah, I do. But it's like I'm like I said, I've been down so many rabbit holes, dude. I've been down the flat Earth rabbit hole, the fact that we have a firmament. You watch the rocket launches, and there's some weird stuff. you know, Not that I really think that flat Earth exists, but I'm also a Catholic, so it's you. I do believe in that type of like that God created a firmament, that we're not supposed to leave, stuff like that. But yeah, I think alien life exists, and it's weird because like you know a lot of like with Catholic religion, um, there's a lot of stuff I could almost call hokey pokey. You know, the Bible had been altered by man a long time ago. You got to look back at Constantine. The time of Constantine, took a whole bunch of, they had to slim down the Bible, so they took out a whole bunch of books out of the Bible, and all that stuff is stored under the Vatican. So, that's the stuff we're never going to be able to see or read until we get in there. But I think we've known about alien life for a long time because you can look back at like paintings of UFOs back in
Right.
from the 13th, 14th centuries,
Yeah.
15th century.
Right.
They were painting these things. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a UFO carved into a freaking stone somewhere.
Yep.
You know, um, and it's just my thought is, and what is it? I've even gone into the fact that like the UFOs we see are humans from the future coming back and watching us now, type of stuff.
Yeah, it could be. We don't know. It could be different dimension, could be outer space, could be from the future. We could be crazy and maybe there's nothing there at all, but I just think, the size of the universe, we're the only thing in it is just does not make any sense.
I mean,
Like
there's reptilians, man. We got to watch out for the reptilians,
this is true. This is true. I think I work for a couple, to be honest with you. So
dude. I mean, I've met some pretty weird people. So I mean, that kind of stuff. It's almost like a type of Men in Black situation where it's almost like a meat suit for some people.
yeah, dude, who the hell knows, right? And that's the
Mhm,
thing, like, our lens on reality is so small, and like even 100 years from now, we're gonna know so many more things that we have
mhm.
no idea about right now. So, yeah, I don't think we can be cut and dry, either
Right.
way. But
You
I'm
know,
with you. I believe as well. Yep.
like one of the big things, a big thing for me is like CERN, the
Oh
Hydrogen
yeah.
Collider. I mean,
Yep.
I think they're supposed to be turning that thing back on soon too. And I don't know if you've gotten uh, have gone into the rabbit hole of um, the Mandela effect, but
Yes. Yeah. I've had that happen to me too, and it's like
yeah,
it's so weird, man. Like,
I have a really crazy one. You know the store J.C. Penney, right?
yeah.
Okay, how do you spell it?
JCPENNEY.
Okay, but see, I've
I've
always remembered it as JCPENNY.
Oh, is it? I don't know. It's one of
No,
those.
it is EY, but
Is
I never remembered the EY.
I could
When I
totally
was a
see it
kid,
in either way in my brain. Yeah.
yeah, there's things like that, and then like the Pikachu with he's like you thought he had a black tail, but he's never had a black end on his tail, the black mark on his tail, just stuff like that, and lots of random ones, man. And that's why I've kind of like wouldn't be surprised if we have somehow shifted realities and stuff like that,
Oh,
But
100%, man. Some of
freaking
the
Trump and Biden back to back, what the
that's what
heck?
I'm saying. Yeah, some of the weird shit that's happened in the past like 10 years, like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we did something that screwed things up.
Yeah, dude. Humanity doing what we do best.
That's it, dude. That's it. All right. So, okay, how about a couple bright, happier things? So, favorite football memory and favorite non-football memory.
um, My favorite football memory would probably be the most recent one was going to that Colts and Bucks game with my daughter and um having that experience with her. Um and sorry, she's like walking in the room right now staring at me as we're
No,
doing
no,
this.
no
So,
worries. Yeah,
um
ever
but
come say
yeah,
hi?
he said you could come say hi if you want.
Yeah, come on, come say hello. Hey, how are you? How's it going?
He's saying hi. He, she says hi back, but yeah, she's getting camera shy. But yeah, that football memory would be doing that because I went with my dad and pretty much like a whole big family event, and we all really enjoyed it. Um, non-football memory, um, I mean, for me, it's the birth of my girls.
Yeah.
You know, it was one, even though okay, so Kyla was born natural, and my youngest Aurora was a C-section, and that was the most violent thing I have ever seen in my entire life.
Ooh.
C-sections, man, are just hard to watch. I don't ever want to see another C-section in my life. I mean, it's basically like I thought it looked like they were murdering my daughter's mom because they were just like
Jesus.
because they cut her open, where for where the scar is, and they pretty much have to put these clamps in that like almost like rip her open,
Oh,
and they reach in, pull your baby out, and kind of, but then it's not like a pull out. They almost have to like yank her out, type of, get her out,
holy shit.
and the whole time, the blood's pouring out of the person you love because they cut her open, and you're like, what the frick is happening right now?
Yeah.
And so they finally got my daughter out, and they're like, "You want to cut the cord?" I was like, "I don't even know what I want to do right now."
It-
Like,
it-
but
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
that was a thing. Yeah, like people say natural birth is hard to watch. I never want to see another C-section.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, once you got through it though, you had two happy, healthy daughters. So
Oh yeah, yeah. Yes, two very happy, beautiful, healthy daughters. Yes, yes, sir.
that's awesome, man. Good stuff. Okay, so how about something hard you've overcome, and what did you learn from it? How much time you got, buddy? Right?
Right, seriously. Um, You know, I've basically been a single dad since I'm 19. I have both my daughters, two different moms. I'm not with either of them, unfortunately. Things just don't work out that way, and I've been a dad since I was 19 on my own. So that's one thing I've had to overcome. Um, the whole, losing this most recent one of losing my job and then losing my house, and then at that point, you almost, as a father, feel like a failure because you feel like you've let your children down, and trying to bounce back from that. And I think one of the biggest things I'm trying to overcome right now is depression.
Yeah.
Um, that is the ultimate son of a bitch in life. Um, can't remember, not that we're sitting here trying to get sad, but Kyle, like Kyle said, mental health stuff is important to talk about.
It
And
is.
I can't remember, you know, I how many days I had woken up, and just had the suicidal thought in your head, and when you just have to deal with that every day, and when you start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel and realizing that life can get better, and not only will life get better, but you can make life better for people around you.
Yeah.
um that's when you realize that, and you start, you because it's so hard to find your purpose in life, and that's what I feel like everybody is constantly searching for. And when you get so sad when you can't find that purpose, and when you have that person that's finally found it, um and they can start looking at the brighter side of things and believing in themselves, um, falling in love again, all those things, it all adds up. And um, experiencing that with other people, I feel like that's what's important.
That's awesome, man. Couldn't have said it better myself. And then I think with the depression thing too, like even depression, anxiety, anything mental health, like
Hmm.
we've still got some of that old mindset of like, hey, just fucking suck it up, Buttercup, and
Rub some
like,
dirt on it.
yeah, rub some
Yeah.
dirt on it, you'll be fine. Like until you've experienced it yourself, like you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
It's that simple. It's not that easy. It could be a million different things. It could be a chemical imbalance in the brain. That's
Hmm.
not something that you can rub dirt on and just decide to get over. Like yeah, it's misunderstood. So yeah,
Hmm.
Kyle was right and you're right. Like the more we talk about this, the less stigma and shame is attached to it. And it's like everyone's going through something. No one is perfect. We've all got some kind of bullshit in the closet. That is for sure.
Well, we look at that's a one. I think one of the biggest things we could look at as example of that is what happened to Will Smith, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that's old news now. Everybody's it's happened, and everybody's probably tired of talking about it. But you've seen this Will Smith has been broken down over
Oh yeah.
time, and
Yeah.
that was just the culmination. I mean, everybody. It could have totally been staged. It's Hollywood, but I think that was what we saw was the culmination of Will Smith and his breaking point.
Dude, I think so too. He snapped.
Yeah.
He fucking snapped. Right? You can only take so much. Yeah.
But then you get into the whole rabbit hole of the Illuminati, and that they have to that if you mess up or do something that they shame you in public, and that was him having to do stuff like that. So, but hey, that's a whole other rabbit hole.
That's true. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah. But no, I think you're right though. Even if that is the deal, he still definitely, clearly had some depression going on just from his whole relationship, it looked
And
like.
you could see it's still going on now too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. I feel for the guy. I really do,
mhm,
man. And
me too.
but hey, I'm glad you're pointing in a good better direction though. So that's good shit.
Definitely, step by step every day. Sometimes it's second by second, man. But that's um, like I said with that offer for the steel mill job, it's uh like I said, there is light at the end of the tunnel. You just got to find it.
Absolutely, man. So, okay, so this next one is a suggestion by you that I've added to all further future iterations of this show. If you had to go out in a blaze of glory, what would your last words be?
Yeah. Um, the like I think the example I used we were talking about it, I sent the gif of the guy in Independence Day
Oh,
saying
hello, boys, I'm back.
I'm back. Yeah, yeah. I would always be, but I told you mine would be just because of like I couldn't like if I was on the spot and I would have to think of something to say. It would be all right. Time's up. Let's go, Leroy Jenkins. That would be mine.
Oh man, that's perfect. That would be memorable. That's for sure.
I'm surprised we haven't seen that in more movies, dude. That's one of them. I feel like one of the most epic videos.
Oh, dude, it's incredible. Yeah. Good stuff, man. All right, well, we've got our first answer to that on the show. We'll get some more. All right, shifting gears to hot water. So these are questions designed to possibly get us in trouble with fantasy Twitter. So when drafting your IDP defense, what's your typical approach? Are you a fade linebacker guy, a draft D line first guy? What's your approach typically to
uh,
IDP
well,
drafts?
we had kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, actually, but I'm more of a I focus on my defensive line first, but I've also, like we had talked about, I've learned where I could find value, so I kind of like to stack my offenses. And if see if I see a run at a certain position, I'll hop in and see if I can grab a stud in time before they're all gone. But I don't really worry about um, if I can. It's nice to have like a Roquan Smith, a Darius Leonard, a Devin White when he's getting 9 sacks a year, um, and or Jordan Brooks, who could end up being an LB1 this year too, over Roquan. Um, when you can get those guys, and um, if you can get one or two of them, that's always nice. But most of those guys, you can find almost some of that, at least good tackle value through
Right.
the wire almost every week if you have to. So yeah, I focus on my defensive line first.
Yep, I'm with you, buddy. I do believe everyone said that so far. What about favorite platform?
I'm going to be the first one to give you a different answer. Um, I'm a sleeper guy. Um, I sleeper and Yahoo. Those are my top two. Um, I'm I've we've done the IDP guys autism awareness stuff on MFL.
Right,
That was the first time I've ever played on MFL, so I'm still not quite used to it. Other than and then we did the IDP only competition last year
right.
um, on MFL. But those are so as I think I could get more comfortable with MFL the more I play on it, but I haven't had that much experience with it where I could put it as one of my topics, like my top platforms. For
It
sleeper, I
oh,
just
it's complicated as shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yahoo, I don't like. The reason I don't like Yahoo is the position designations of how they do their players. That's why I prefer sleeper is just because you'll have a lot more dual eligibility for the players that should be dual eligible.
Yep.
Um, and I like the way I feel like drafting is a lot easier on sleeper. I feel like just a lot of the stuff is, it is, it's more user friendly than any of the other apps. And I feel like that's why it's one of my favorites. The only thing they really suck at is IDP. So,
Yeah, well, you never
uh,
know. They could change that before this
mhm,
season, and then it's basically perfect almost.
right.
So
I mean, I feel like if they um, got some better IDP, ADP, and if they just give us like specific positions, like I don't think it'd be that hard for them to create a cornerback slot and a defensive tackle slot.
right, and you don't have to make that like the automatic setting. You could just make that an option.
Right,
Like
exactly.
yeah. So
Check
uh,
this if you want like position specific requirements. Okay.
right. So they're close. I mean, they could definitely do it. But
hmm
yeah, okay. Hey, there's no wrong answer. It's whatever your favorite platform is. What are your thoughts on fantasy Twitter?
Um, you know, for the most part, I feel like as of lately, it's been better. I feel like we go through the spits of toxicity. Um, but at the same point, I'm at that. I feel like we've all kind of talked about it recently to where it's um we know who cries victim basically. Um, and I don't want to like I'm not gonna um I'm done. I feel like at this point we all need to find a way to better the IDP experience and community together. And I know that's gonna be hard to do, but I feel like over time we could get there. But I think there definitely needs to be some air cleared and apologies sent from both sides. And um,
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not just
yeah,
it's not just IDP Twitter too. I mean,
right. Oh yeah. I mean, you
yeah.
see it
It's oh
all over
yeah.
fantasy Twitter, people doing stuff like that. But it's just the whole, that whole keyboard warrior crap. So
Right. Right. Absolutely, man. It's that it's rare that we have a week or two without some kind of controversy. That's for
well,
sure.
there was that point last off season where it seemed like some fantasy person was getting canceled almost every other week.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was
That's
like, "What the
right.
hell is going on? And like, why is cancel culture?" And it's just like it's going off this year, and then I think everybody was like, it was a cool trend for a little bit, but I'm done." So
Yeah.
until it comes back.
Right. Yes, we have yet to get into this season, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, no, I hear you, man. I think we definitely could and should do better. That's for sure. Yeah. All right, home stretch. So you've got the oh fuck, what is that called? Breakouts coming,
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah, any other projects coming this year?
I usually do. It's kind of like I would say almost like kind of a little bit for me, a little bit similar to the breakout thing. But I always like looking at rookies that I think are gonna. I mean, a lot of people do this, but I like looking at the rookies who I think are going to be in good situations that managers should be drafting um, for dynasty and or redraft. To be honest, because I think we had some, especially defensive line guys that landed at some nice redraft spots this year.
Oh yeah.
Um, you got Hutchinson, Thibodeau, Walker if he turns out to be what Jaguars hope he's going to be, and I
Yep.
really like Karlaftis and KC and Johnson and New York. So the defensive line, we had some really good spots. Linebacker, not so much this year.
Mm,
Linebacker was kind of yeah for me.
yeah.
I like for safety for rookies. I really like. I think, like I said, we talked about a little bit. Hamilton. I like what he's gonna be able to do in Baltimore. Um, I like Chicago Bears, Jaquan Brisker. I mean, he's supposed to be starting strong safety for us probably day one. That's basically why they drafted him to come in and start
Nice.
right next to Eddie Jackson.
Yeah.
Um, and Lewis Seen, I think he landed in a pretty good spot with the Bengals. I think yeah, it was the Bengals. No, wait, where did Lewis Seen go? It wasn't the Bengals.
Yeah.
I like
Yep.
where he. Oh, Minnesota. Sorry.
Oh, yep. Right, because they,
Yeah,
they have a vacancy. Yeah.
yeah, and I feel like him playing next to Harrison Smith is going to be good for his career.
Oh yeah. I mean, last year Woods, like, holy shit. Talk about a quiet, excellent season. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. And I think that's just a really good guy to learn from.
Nice. Okay. So we're looking forward to that. And then you probably haven't figured out what you want to do in season yet. Depends on how much you're working.
Yeah, it probably depends on what how much I'm working and what all happens. With like how everybody sorts out what they're going to write this year. How we all kind of pick something what we want to write about. I like having a little bit more freedom during the in season. So like I feel like I don't know if I'm gonna have like a certain type of series or anything I do, but I basically would like just to um point I like to almost like I would almost like highlights, highlights for players who had a good week, something like that.
Yeah, that'd be good stuff, man. I mean, and whatever it is, the more the better, right? The more info
Hmm.
we put out there, the better. So, okay, anything you want to say? Anything you want to plug? The floor is yours.
Um, always just like Bob Barker used to say, please spay and neuter your pets. Uh, that's a big one for me. Um, Sorry, my daughter's trying
Barker.
to have a conversation with me as we're doing this.
No worries.
Um, but yeah, just please spay or neuter your pets, and if there's a chance, if you when you hear this, and if you can leave the world a better place, when you leave it, try to take the steps to do that. Um, if and any for if anyone has any fantasy questions, you can come to me on Twitter at zmagsidp. My DMs are always open for anybody with any questions. I always love to help, and just like we always say, that feeling at the end of the year, knowing if I've helped you win a championship by telling you, helping you with your start sit decisions or who to grab off the waiver wire, I don't mind doing that. I do work a lot, but I always get back to everybody who gets in my DMs. Um, and I always have my IDP breakout stuff, so keep an eye out for that. And as if you're looking for news and stuff about what I'm going to be writing, all my stuff is on idpguys.org, and just keep an eye on my Twitter. I'm definitely an engagement farmer, so not everybody likes to admit it, but I am one of those guys who I don't mind, creating some topics to sit and talk about for an hour on Twitter sometimes. So.
It ain't much, but it's a living.
Right, exactly. It's a,
Uh,
it's a
uh,
fun living sometimes too, and when you can
uh,
have good dialogue with people.
yeah, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. And then, last but not least, is most road rage poop related?
Ah, the ultimate question. Um, Gosh, I've actually thought about this a lot, and you thought Sean was going to be the only one to say no, and
Ooh,
I've seen a lot of road rage that I don't think was poop related. I think it's guys are just some people are just assholes.
wow. Okay, okay. So this is Chicago area. People just drive like assholes, and they
Hmm.
they're
Yeah.
they
Oh,
don't.
Midwest. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, lots of that kind of driving up here, and then that's the one thing I've realized too is like people. I think road rage is just people being stupid while driving,
Mm,
and if someone pulling out in front of you because they weren't paying attention or somebody was staring at their phone. I think people staring at their phone could be a give poop a run for their money with road rage. I'm not saying poop isn't involved at all. It definitely is, but I don't know if it's the top answer.
all right. Well, I'll run a poll on that shortly here.
There you go. I like that.
Good stuff. Well, thank you, my friend. I definitely appreciate it. I knew this was going to be a good one, and it was. We got into some football stuff. We got into some life stuff, that's exactly what I was shooting for. So
Oh, heck yeah, man.
I appreciate you coming on, my man. He is at ZMags IDP on Twitter, writer for IDP guys, Zach Magley. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Johnny. It was an honor to be here. Like I'm really thankful you let me come on. And like I said earlier, the opportunity to meet you, and I would like to call, and even though it's like over a screen or Twitter, but I like to call you my friend. So thank you.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Yes, you are a good friend as well. So thank you everybody for listening this week. Have a good week. We'll see you next Monday at 7 a.m. Eastern. Until then, try not to road rage because you have to poop. Take care. Bye bye.